You know how Hollywood loves a surprise, but this one caught everyone off guard. Sydney Sweeney, renowned for her role in Euphoria and currently one of the most sought-after actresses globally, recently made an appearance in New York City. Sydney Sweeney was seen walking hand-in-hand with none other than Scooter Braun. Yes, that Scooter Braun, the music mogul behind Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and of course, one of the most controversial figures in the industry. It wasn't a red carpet, it wasn't a press event. It was just an ordinary evening in Manhattan. However, within hours, the photos of Sydney beaming next to Scooter went viral. Fans are asking, is this a new Hollywood power couple in the making? Or something much deeper? Because here's the thing. This isn't just about a casual walk through Soho. This might be the start of one of the most unexpected and strategic pairings Hollywood's seen all year. And if you think this is just another rumor, wait until you see what connects them behind the scenes. But before we dive into that, let's rewind to how this all started. It was a crisp October evening in New York City when cameras caught the moment that would set social media on fire.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American
Sydney
Eagle
Sweeney,
jeans.
dressed effortlessly in
definitely
a cropped
won't say
cream
that they're the-
jacket and wide-leg jeans, was seen walking alongside Scooter Braun,
Definitely won't say that they're the
laughing,
most
smiling,
comfortable jeans
and
I've
looking
ever worn.
entirely at ease.
Or
No
they
entourage,
make your butt
no
look.
security shadowing them too closely. Just two
They
people
make your butt look
strolling through Soho
amazing.
like it was the most natural thing in the world.
Why would I need to do that?
But nothing in Hollywood is ever just natural. Within minutes, paparazzi photos hit the internet,
But if
and
you said that
fans
you wanna buy
immediately began connecting the
jeans,
dots. The body
not gonna
language,
stop.
too relaxed. The smiles, a little too genuine. One
I'm not
fan
gonna stop
posted,
you.
they look comfortable.
But just so we're clear, this is not
business
me
comfortable,
telling you.
date night comfortable. By the next morning, entertainment pages had exploded with
why
speculation.
American.
Was this a new couple alert, a publicity stunt, or the quiet, soft launch of something bigger? Because here's what makes this sighting so unusual. Sydney and Scooter don't exactly run in the same circles, at least not publicly. She's the face of young Hollywood, all bright energy and cinematic ambition. He's the veteran mogul, known more for billion-dollar contracts and behind-the-scenes power plays than red carpet charm. Yet somehow, here they were, walking side by
I'm not here to
side,
tell you to buy
laughing
American
like
Eagle
old
jeans.
friends. And for those
And I
paying
definitely
attention,
won't say that
this
they're the-
wasn't a random in-run. Just days earlier, Scooter
Definitely
had been
won't say that
spotted
they're the
in
most
Los
comfortable
Angeles
jeans I've ever
attending a
worn.
private industry dinner. One
Or
Sydney's team
that they make
was
your butt look.
reportedly involved in organizing. Coincidence?
They make your butt look
Maybe.
amazing.
But in Hollywood,
Why would I need to
coincidences
do that?
are rarely accidental. What's even more interesting is how comfortable Sydney looked. Fans noticed
But if
she
you said
wasn't
that you
wearing
wanna
her
buy
engagement
the
ring,
jeans,
something that sparked
I'm not gonna
whispers for
stop.
weeks. And that tiny detail, it turned what could have
not
been
gonna
just
stop
another
you.
casual outing
But just so we're
into
clear,
one of the
this is
most
not me
talked about
telling you.
celebrity sightings of the month. But if Sydney's calm confidence got people talking, it was
Bye, American.
Scooter's presence that really raised eyebrows. Because for him, this timing couldn't be more strategic. And that brings us to what's really going on in Scooter Braun's world and why this pairing might be more than just a friendly walk. For Sydney Sweeney, 2025 has been nothing short of a whirlwind. Between blockbuster premieres, global brand campaigns, and back-to-back press tours, she's become Hollywood's go-to face for everything, from steamy romantic comedies to
I'm not here to tell you
high-fashion
to buy
magazine
American Eagle
covers.
jeans.
But behind the glamour,
And I definitely
there's been
won't
a
say that
quiet
they're the-
shift happening, and fans have noticed. It started earlier
Definitely
this
won't
year
say that they're the
when
most
eagle-eyed
comfortable jeans
followers
I've ever worn.
realized Sydney had stopped wearing
Or
her engagement
that
ring.
they make your butt look
Her longtime fiance, Jonathan Davino, who's mostly
They
stayed
make
out
your
of the
butt look
spotlight,
amazing.
hadn't been seen with her for months.
Why
At
would I need to
first,
do
people
that?
brushed it off. Maybe he was just avoiding cameras. But as Sydney kept showing up to events solo, Cannes, Paris
if you said
Fashion
that you
Week,
wanna buy
and even her
the
Barbarella
jeans,
press previews,
I'm not gonna
the
stop.
silence started to speak volumes. Then came the
I'm not gonna
interviews.
stop you.
Sydney,
just so
usually
we're clear,
private
this is
about
not
her
me
personal life,
telling you.
began dropping subtle hints about evolving, focusing on herself, and taking
Bye,
control of her narrative. To fans, that sounded like someone moving into a new era. Independent, unapologetic, and maybe even single. Professionally, she's on fire. Anyone But You cemented her as a bona fide box office draw. Euphoria Season 3 is on the horizon, and her production company, 50/50 Films, has been quietly developing new projects, proving she's not just an actress, but a businesswoman shaping her own empire. But that's exactly why her latest appearance with
I'm not
Scooter
here to tell you to
Braun
buy American Eagle
feels
jeans.
complicated.
And I definitely won't say that.
Sydney's finally at the top of her game. Smart, strategic, and fiercely in control of her brand. So walking beside someone as polarizing as Scooter, that's not just a date night move. That's a statement. Some fans say it's a classic Hollywood move. Align with power to expand power. Others think it's personal. Maybe she's just enjoying a new chapter without worrying about what anyone thinks. And honestly, that confidence might be exactly what's drawing people in. Still, if Sydney's glow up is all about transformation and reinvention, Scooter's story,
just so we're clear, this is not me
it's the opposite. His recent months have been a storm of headlines, client exits, and reputation repair. And that's where this story takes a very interesting turn. For years, Scooter Braun was known as the man who could make stars. He discovered Justin Bieber on YouTube, guided Ariana Grande's early rise, and built a management empire that dominated pop culture. But lately, his name hasn't been showing up next to success stories, it's been showing up next to scandals. In 2024, the entertainment world was blindsided when reports surfaced that several of his biggest clients, including Justin Bieber, Demi Lovato, and Ariana Grande, had quietly cut ties with him. No official explanations, just a wave of exits, one after another, from the same empire that once defined pop management. Rumors spread fast. Some said Scooter was stepping back to focus on his role as CEO of Hive America, the company behind BTS.
Why would I need to do that?
Others claimed he'd burned too many bridges, and the industry was finally catching up to him. What's certain is that his once bulletproof reputation started to crack. And then, of course, there's the shadow that never quite fades. The Taylor Swift
I'm not
feud.
going to stop you.
The infamous Masters deal still lingers in the public memory, a moment that turned Scooter into one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. To Swift's fans, he's the villain who tried to silence their idol. To others, he's just a savvy businessman caught in a PR nightmare. But regardless of how you see him, Scooter knows how to pivot. In recent months, insiders say he's been working quietly to rebrand himself, less as a music industry shark and more as a producer and investor in film, tech, and entertainment ventures. And that's where Sydney Sweeney comes in. Because if there's one thing Scooter understands better than most, it's timing. Being seen with one of Hollywood's hottest rising stars, someone who's respected, relatable, and adored, sends a very specific message. I'm still connected. I still matter. For Sydney, it might just be a friendly connection. But for Scooter, this public appearance could be his most strategic move in years.
Why would I need to do that?
Still, there's one question no one can quite answer. How did these two even cross paths?
But if you said that you want to buy the jeans,
at first glance, Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun seem like two people from completely different worlds. She's the face of the new Hollywood era, and he's the power player from the music world trying to reinvent himself. But in reality, their circles have been quietly overlapping for months. Industry insiders claimed their first connection wasn't romantic at all. It was business. Sydney's production company, 50/50 Films, has been expanding aggressively into big studio collaborations, and Scooter's company has been making moves in that same space, scouting for projects that blend music, film, and streaming content. Rumor has it, the two were introduced through CAA, their shared talent agency, during a private event in Los Angeles earlier this year. A few whispers say it all began with a meeting about a potential film collaboration, something involving music licensing and brand integration, which are two things Scooter's empire specializes in. But according to one insider, the energy between them was instant. You could feel it, even in a business room. Since then, fans have noticed subtle overlaps, both attending the same Amazon Studios events, both photographed leaving similar Hollywood hotspots within hours of each other, and both vacationing on the East Coast around the same time this summer. None of it was definitive, Until the
I'm not gonna
NYC
stop you.
sighting. What
Just so we're
makes
clear,
this
this is not
timing so
me
curious
telling you.
is that Scooter has been actively networking in film lately. After his fallout with several major artists,
American.
he's been pouring resources into producing. And Sydney? Well, she's one of the hottest new producers in town. She's got leverage, creativity, and public goodwill. 3 things Scooter could use right now. So maybe this wasn't a romantic night out, at least not at first. Maybe it was the blending of 2 empires, a strategic alliance wrapped in the perfect PR package. But as anyone who follows Hollywood knows, business dinners have a way of becoming something more. And when those NYC photos hit the internet, social media didn't see 2 professionals.
I definitely won't say
They saw chemistry, a spark, something that felt too easy, too
the most
genuine
comfortable
to be
jeans I've
just
ever worn.
business. And the internet
Or
did what the
they
internet
make your
does best.